Here we have a pre-owned 2024 Land Rover Range Rover P530 Autobiography. This one's a long wheelbase. This color is going to be Belgravia green metallic. And then we have ebony leather interior. The powertrain consists of a 4.4 liter twin turbocharged V8 engine mated with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Gives us 523 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. Just under 40,000 miles on this one in particular. LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights and the LED fog lights. The lights aren't dancing like that. That's just how my camera's picking them up, but absolutely love this spec here. It's beautiful. This green is phenomenal. Absolutely love it. Now down here to these wheels, these are going to be 23-inch aluminum. I like the design. I like how they're blacked out. And we have the nice big Brembo brake calipers as well. Now this one being an autobiography, it is pretty decked out. Passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. Memory seat functions, the power seat controls, one-touch up and down windows on all 4 doors. We also get the one-touch up and down rear window shades that are integrated there as well, so that's a nice touch. Now over here, if you can see, we have our entry exit we can activate there, our electronic child locks and rear window locks, power folding mirrors, and then we can pick a side for the side mirrors and adjust the glass there. We do get blind spot monitors in the side mirrors. The Meridian signature sound system is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Power door lock controls are here. And then your hood release, lift gate, pedals. We do get a power tilt telescoping steering wheel, but the controls on the right side. And then here's the seat itself. And it's very adjustable. I'll show you some of the adjustability that's not included on the side here in a minute. But this wood grain steering wheel, my gosh, it looks so good. It feels fantastic. And then just how it pairs with that white there, it's just a great looking vehicle. And we do get power running boards as well. Soft closed doors. And I want to give a huge shout out to Auto Collection of Murfreesboro and Auto Pro Nashville for allowing me to review this Rover today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get to the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. If you're looking for another pre-owned vehicle like this one, hit that third link down below, do the same thing. Now we can adjust the lighting back here. There's so much we can do from the passenger seat. And with this one being a long wheelbase, we're gonna test out this leg room. I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size being 6'3" with longer legs, so as I was expecting, pretty impressive here. We have the rear entertainment screens as well. So while that comes on, we do have our climate controls for the back as well. So I love this because in the autobiography, we are able to get our heated cooled second row seats. So that's a nice touch there. I might be locked out. Yeah. So we do get that back here. Unfortunately, I am locked out from the front, but there's a 180 watt, 110 volt 3-prong household plug-in there. You have 2 USB-C charge ports and then a 12 volt. It's kind of hard to see because of where it's stored, but. And there's a view of the front from back here. And I'm actually just gonna go ahead and fix this real quick because it is kind of loud back here. I can get to it. Let me go here. Now, one thing I will say about the Rover controls, it's kind of a pain to get to anything if you're not used to it because there's so much to really fool with here. So you have your climate controls and all of that, and there's just a ton of stuff. And then you don't ever know if you're in the right area for something. Here we go, rear. So we're gonna unlock that. And again, that's kind of what I mean, like, it took me 10 steps to figure out how to get to it, but you can also pretty much do anything you can imagine on here. But you can pull these for the fan speed on either side, adjust the temperature for either side, so that's a nice touch there. And then you push in, and then that gets you access to the heated cooled seats, and it's kind of playing catch up with me. So we can cool it that way, or heat it there. But I want the cooled seat on, it's hot. And then we can also kind of adjust with the vents here. You also get them up here. and then it's your feet as well. But to the rear entertainment system, you can hook up an HDMI port and then run something off the screen. You also have the Wi-Fi hotspot as well, and it's a pretty simple setup here. You know, it's not too much going on, which I like. It's crazy how many languages you can choose, I will say that. But again, you get on both sides. This middle seat folds down, and then you do have the bottle holders on this side, and then this side gives you that additional storage if you want to put something in there. Relatively big pocket, I think. Now I gotta figure out how to get out of here. There we go. But you can also control like the sunshade back here if you want to do that. And with this long wheelbase, it is so easy to get in and out of here. There's so much room, so much space. And then you can even put up the third row back here as well. So you have those controls. And it's another big plus with this one in particular. You do get that third row. So you get a power boot here. And even though it's two pieces, both of those are going to be power there. And then you have the heated seats in the back, USB-C ports on either side, then you can slide those forward and back. Top tethers are integrated in the back of the seats themselves. And then you can lower, raise the suspension, put all the seats down there. And this is pretty neat. So you can fold that one touch, which allows me to put this one up. And it's kind of light, so even though I hit that screen there, it's not really damaging it because the headrest is pretty soft and it went very slowly into that screen, and it's made to be very durable. And then you can see again, you can adjust the seat itself from back there. And then you have the hooks on the side too, 12 volt here, netted side pocket on the right, and then you have a little strap here if you want to put a first aid kit or something there. And then this is pretty neat. If you want to hold that there, that'll kind of keep stuff that you want in the back. And let's say you want to keep the lift gate open or whatever, but you want to hold it in, you can do that, which is pretty neat. I think I have to use two hands to put it down. There we go. So I mean, for this to be what it is, relatively practical for all the features that you get here. And sorry if the wind noise is starting to pick up. But there's the back end itself, LED tail lamps. They're not dancing again, that's just my camera. And there's the exhaust there. And that's actually pretty neat. You have the quad tips, but they're hidden from view. But they have a nice rumble to them. Fuel cap is there. Now premium is recommended, but it doesn't say it's required on this twin turbo V8. So that's interesting. And again, we have that adjustability if you want to fold the seats down and all of that here from the second row, or the third row, if that makes sense. So we can fold the third row down, and then, but the lower latch anchors are there for the car seats if you need that. And then front passenger seat. And sorry it's taking so long. It's just so much on this that I want to make sure I cover everything. You have the memory seats right in here. And then two glove compartments. Here's a traditional one with the owner's manuals. Forgot you got to fold that one down here. And then you have a 12 volt in there. And I don't think we have the window sticker. But before we hop on the inside, I'm going to go through the radio as fast as possible. Let's look in the engine bay. And again, mostly covered up, 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. And then we're just going to show off the blinkers. Let's hop in the driver's seat next. So nice leather wrap, again, steering wheel here with the wood grain on the sides. There's the horn. Now this is the climate menu, so you can go to front, rear, full with that there. And then we can adjust fan speed, the seat here, temperature there, and that's kind of a pop-up there. So to get to the full climate, you do have to go into the actual home page, or the apps page, excuse me, and then do that. That's something else that's kind of confusing. So that's a home page there, but then you have all this. You have to hit this again to get to all this. So you have the AM, FM, XM radio, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Alexa. You have your automatic park assist, voice recognition, all that's in here. So it's a lot, but it isn't once you get used to it. Again, it's just different, you know. Land Rover has always been like that. And then your navigation system's here. And then we can go through the radio station presets here, which I like. You kind of can save those and then go through them. Backup cameras here, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel, and then as you kind of press in here, you get different views. So you have that front camera, and then you have that wider angle for the front, and you have that 3D view there. A ton of different views for the camera, just in general. And then you have the off-road setup as well, so you get a different view there. Now down here, wireless charging pad, USB-C port, you can stow all that away. For the shifter, just hit the brake, pull here, drive, and then you can tap up for neutral. And then pull all the way up for reverse, press P for park. You do have to keep your finger on the button the whole time. Bottle holders are here. Your center console cubby space does have an ice box, which is pretty cool. And then again, for this, you can store that. Now that's what the sunshade looks like. That's gonna take a minute for that to go all the way back. There's a look at the back from up here. But sunroof controls are here for the shade, for the roof itself. And then we do have the rear camera mirror and the garage door transmitter is there. I'm surprised we don't have a sunglasses holder in a vehicle like this, but I mentioned the hazards button is right there. Kind of hidden from view, but no big deal. There's a tilt. And there's a slide. And that's as far back as it goes. I was expecting it to go back a bit further, but vanity mirrors here. And then to the steering wheel stalks, left side. And then your headlights, to turn those on, off, whatever, you just kind of hold it there and then let off. You can kind of see as I do that, it changes. Same thing with the fog lights. We can turn those on or off, flip of a switch, and then hit this on the side, and we can see the info change in that bottom left-hand corner. For the wipers, one time off, auto, low, high. You can adjust that auto there, and then our rear wipers here. Pushing for the rear fluid on the camera, as well as the rear window, and then pull up here for the front fluid. Now, paddle shifters are behind the steering wheel if you want to use those. This is a button we can use to go through the settings in the gauge cluster, including the heads-up display. And then your tire pressure monitors, you can see those there. This activates the driver assistance system, so you can go between high, custom, and then low, and then you can hold to open up that setup there. Voice recognition, volume control. And then when you get out of this menu here, out of the vehicle settings, you can use this for the track list, radio station presets, and then that custom button as well. Right side, cruise control. So we have the lane keeping system as well. That lane assistance, we can press and hold it to deactivate it. We can set our speed here, and then we can adjust the gap there, cancel, heated steering wheel, and then the limiter is there. And there is the heads-up display. Again, it's not flashing like that. That's just my camera. And then push button start. Here's the key fob. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2024 Land Rover Range Rover P530 Autobiography long wheelbase out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this long wheelbase Range Rover P530, the Autobiography trim really gives you everything you could think of and then some. Honestly, it's one of those trims where, for me, I feel like it almost gives you too much. If you can hear, I'm usually talking a bit louder, but this interior is so quiet that I can whisper. I'm not hearing anything from the outside world. One of the best things about this spec in particular, ride is fantastic, really quiet in the cabin, and the overall sound acoustics in here are just 10 out of 10. Now, one thing I can't stand, and I don't know how you can even turn that off, is if you go a mile an hour over the speed limit, this thing will just start dinging at you. And I've done that in several Range Rovers. And one of the most luxurious vehicles you can buy here, but even the Range Rover has its few quirks that just kind of get on my nerves, and that's one of them. Now, while I'm sitting here, I did forget one thing, and that was the controls for the lumbar and all of that. So you can actually get to that, and you control the bolsters, the shoulders, the cushion, which kind of slides in and out. So there's a lot that you can do in there once you actually get to that menu there. And that's one of the other things too with the Range Rovers. They're so freaking nice. They're so cool that a lot of this stuff, for someone like myself, and you know, I know cars pretty well, every time I get in one of these, I'm like, wait, what does that do again? Or how do I do that? Because it's so out of the ordinary. It's almost like for you to drive in old Mustangs or something, and then you hop in a Tesla Model S. You're thinking, how do I work any of this? And that's what you get here. And I've been in Ferraris, Lamborghinis, all of that, even other Range Rovers. But every time I get in a Range Rover, I'm thinking, my goodness, what is going on? But I'm gonna give it a quick pull here in the dynamic mode. All right, here we go. I mean, the thing flies. It's crazy. And the pull is so good, but also it legit floated down the ramp there. That's one of the smoothest accelerations I've ever had going down that on ramp, and I've done it hundreds of times. Absolutely phenomenal ride quality, even as I'm flooring it. But I want to give a huge thanks to Auto Collection of Murfreesboro, Auto Pro Nashville, for allowing me to review this vehicle today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. If you're looking for a pre-owned one, click that third link down below, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on that as well. Now, you do have the lane centering here, the adaptive cruise. Again, it's one of those things where it's so, you have to get it going, and having just a tad bit of, it's finally locked in there as I'm getting off. But you do have that there. And again, just typical of the Range Rovers, they're so different that you can't really hop in one of these unless you're like a specialist or somebody that works at a Range Rover dealership. You can't really just hop in these and get right to it, because it's different than pretty much any other car on the market in terms of what we're used to here in America. Now, this one I think was online for $120,000. Well, stickered here for $120,000. It's $117,500, I believe now. It's on sale. Been here just a little while, but honestly, to get in this and nothing be wrong with it, I'm pretty impressed overall, because it really does kind of show how this has held up over 40,000 miles. There are a lot of other vehicles that you get in, and not to pick on Mercedes-Benz, pick on the Maybach, whatever, but you'll have a car with 3,000, 4,000 miles on it, stickered for 250 grand, and the side of the seat bottom is coming out. So far, I mean, everything looks to be in place. It's driving beautifully, and it's been a really good test drive here. Now, I will say, where this has those bigger wheels and these tires here, when they sit for even a little bit, the tire pressure monitor might come on. So it just needs a little bit of air in that back right tire, and that's what that light is on for. But again, not affecting the overall drive or anything. It's actually higher than the front left, but the monitor is only for the back left. So, but I think a very, very nice build here, very nice spec. I love the paint color. I love the interior. The Meridian signature sound system is incredible. Again, once you get used to using this setup, the Range Rover setup, it's pretty good. But again, if you don't like change, and if you don't like a 180-degree change, that's gonna bother you. But if you're okay with a little bit of change, you'll get used to that, and then you'll learn to love it. So, but with all that being said, great vehicle here, just a lot of luxury, a lot of fun, and a lot of power with that 4.4 twin turbo V8. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Range Rover P530 Autobiography long wheelbase.